like I said, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, but still in Rome. Okay, and one of the biggest things that they did, that they changed. Okay, and I'm not going to get too biblical on you. Okay, you can go to Rome today, to Saint the Mill of Rome today. Okay, and these are pictures that I've actually gotten out of my books from these museums. Okay, the world's flat. Right. So you could go to museums and you can go to archives and stelae that's still over there in Rome and Italy.
Hold on, wait. Let me read this for people who just came on. Wait, Kathy says, wait, you're telling me a black man knew the world wasn't flat? Chosen people, I tuned into this history lesson.
This is vital information, people.
Right.
But you know, this explains why some of us grasp physics and mathematics so easily. Like it just comes to us. Like, you know what I mean? Without any intense training.
Right.
Or studying.
Right. And that's the reason why a lot of us fail American history too. I used to fall asleep in American history.
When I didn't know.
Facts. I hated history. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I that's why I never really tried to learn history, because it was just all whitewashed, literally.
Right. Absolutely right. And it's no, and let me tell you something else. It's nothing. It's no shame. Okay, in learning who you are. It's no shame in learning who your forefathers was. We're the greatest people on this earth. Okay. It's just that America has made us feel ashamed, okay, of being who we are. We're the only people, let me tell you something. We're the only people who get scrutinized, and we're the only people who gets, scrutinized and locked up, okay, and validated for being us. Okay, you can't wear your hair a certain way. You got to wear it this way. No, you can't speak this way. That's called ebonics. No,
we're getting some shock faces as reactors on this area.
Right. You can't do this, because that's a little bit too black. You can't do this. You can't. It's a little. We the only people on this.
I'm sorry to interject again, but not the toothpaste. Put the link in the book. I need it and at the polls. This woman is actually very powerful who's commenting right now. And
I'm gonna put it in the comments.
Yeah, Aisya will post it in the comments for you, Kathy. Make sure, Kathy, please share this live video with others, please, because everyone needs to know the truth.
Absolutely. And look, let me say this too. When the pictures, what they were taking down, okay, you can go over to Rome today. And you can still see pictures, okay, of Christ and the 12 disciples with afros and dark skin. This is the kind of stuff that they don't show you over here in America, okay? You can still go to Rome, okay, over there in the Vatican City, okay, over in Domitilla, or you can go to Europa, Rome, and this is the kind of stuff that they still have, okay, over in the This is a picture of Moses and Aaron. They got afros, okay, and this is the stuff that they hide from you over in Vatican City. Okay, this is the Moses and Aaron walking through the Red Sea. Look, just as dark as LeVar Burton. Okay,
that sure is. It most definitely is.
And listen, let me say this. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that they were hiding. Okay, and that they still hide to this day. Okay, that they don't want you to know, because why? It brings about a self-esteem about yourself, a self-awareness about yourself. You weren't just the people coming off the slave ships and you didn't know nothing. Massa was just whipping you and you was just, yes, massa, no, massa. No, we were the great people that built this place up, okay? And we still build this place up, and they still build our ideas, okay, and capitalize and commercialize off of our great inventions, okay? That's the only thing that they do. Same thing, when you go to work and they say, okay, well, you work at plant 1, 2, and 3. I work at plant. No. What it is just a plantation, 1, 2, and 3. Plants is just short for plantation, okay? The only thing that they did, they just put numbers on. They put a dome over the field, okay? If you got a cousin that you driving to work, okay, and they may say, okay, well, I work over here at plant number 3. No, still a plantation. Nothing. Beethoven, okay, one of the greatest, okay, composition, one of the greatest, okay, guys, pianists, okay, and composers on this planet. He also was a black man, okay, right along with Shakespeare. Okay, this is another picture. This is a guy right here by the name of George Bridgetower. I always get his name mixed up. Okay, and
so George, he looks like he was on a lighter skin of side.
Right. There you go. Right. And this guy right here was by the name of George Bridgetower. He hung out with Beethoven. This was Beethoven's buddy. Okay, this was Beethoven's buddy. Beethoven taught him, okay, the art, okay, of playing the piano, okay, and stuff. And like you said, he might have been on the lighter side, but at the same time, too, the world knows
black.
Beethoven was a black man. Okay, you can look at his mask in his speeches and tell he was black. He was a black man, absolutely. Okay, but the reason why, Okay, but the reason why, you know, they don't show it to you because, like I said, it may build up your self-esteem. Okay, because now
God
America,
forbid, huh?
right, right. Well, forbid your self-esteem is built up. Are you kidding me? You know, you may have a uprising or something like
You
that.
may just have a real idea. You guys
Yeah.
may just start working together. You may just
Right,
find out how great you are.
And I
right,
think
Listen,
that's probably why I know for myself as a Black woman that speaks out against injustice for our Black children, we're not heard because they feel we're inferior per se.
right,
And
right,
so, you
right,
know, that's where that mindset comes from.
right, right. Absolutely. And we inherited that from our forefathers. You know, they beat the hell out of us. Okay, they beat the hell out of us. You
yeah,
know,
Veronica says, on our ancestors' back, this country was built.
you
Facts.
better believe it. You better believe it.
Another sister from Sistas Talk.
You better
Thank
believe
you,
it.
Queen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Absolutely. That's
But
right.
I think this is a testimony. Everything that you just heard Arthur Frank Jordan say, this is a testimony to why you ask yourselves, well, why did he or she get so angry when I did this, that, or the other? These are the reasons why we get angry. It's not because we're angry people. We're probably one of the most loving groups of people on this planet as a whole. That's without the broken people included, because you have those in every race. But on a serious note, you think about it. Some of us are a group of individuals whose ancestors were shipped from one continent to another. We lost all of our history in the transport, and we were beaten to submit to another group of human beings. It's
Right.
ridiculous. And yet we say that the Holocaust was the worst human brutality on the in human history. That's just not true.
No.
It was the only one
Nah.
that was recorded that
Right.
had
Right.
evidence left behind.
Right.
But
Right.
when you think about it, we have gone through so many constant atrocities, even up to current dates.
Right.
And if I'm a liar, tell me why 2020 looks so scrambled up. Tell me why
Exactly.
this whole movement of BLM has blown most CEOs and business owners, these billion-dollar, million-dollar corporate figures, out of the water to just accept diversity now.
Right.
Come on.
Today, 2020,
Right.
after all of these years, decades, centuries, it really took
Come on, Angel. Let's hand clap somebody about the book. Woo!
Thank you, Tatum.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for buying the book. Share. Oh yeah, let me put a little chime in. Everybody that's tuning in, because I was getting carried away listening to all this wealth of information. Listen. I love people who can give knowledge to me that I didn't even know where to look for it. You know, like I just love soaking it up. So guys, please make sure you like, comment on the live thread right now. Make sure you share this video. Share. Not necessarily just for Sistas Talk, but for the information that needs to be dispersed. This
Right.
man has a lot of knowledge about our history that is not being taught in the universities, is not being taught in the elementary schools, is not being taught in the school systems at all. So it's going to be up to us to teach our children. Period.
Right.
Lost
Veronica.
our language.
Right. Veronica said we lost our language. She's absolutely correct. The English, listen, let me say this, right? We speak a broken English language. You know, when you go over to Britain, the people over there in Great Britain, they can actually understand every word that we're saying. You know, they speak that pure English language, you know, that pure English language. But you got to kind of ask yourselves, why is the English language taught, okay, to the slaves over here in America? It's because we're still living up under the British, you know, up under the British rule. We're still living up under the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth, the lady that's over there, that sits over there, she got a son by the name of Prince Charles. They are the rulers of this whole earth. Everybody pays taxes to them. That's the reason why they understand that we speak a broken English language, because the slaves, the colonies and the French, they're still paying taxes, okay, on the slaves over here. Look, when we came over to America, we were speaking all kind of languages, okay? We were speaking Hebrew, we were speaking Arabic, we were speaking all kind of languages, okay? But the English, okay, the main people that rule this earth, okay, is the British Empire. Those are the ones that rule this earth. Queen Elizabeth, nobody else gets called queen, okay, except for her over there. That lady got to be at least about 1,000 years old, Every time I turn around, that lady, she got to be at least 1,001, at least. At least. It's like that lady never. It's like that lady, and that's a different, and that's a different story for a different day. You know how they.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to have that conversation with you for sure.
Yeah, about the blood and how they drink blood and to keep themselves young, and eat the placentas of the babies. Of the
That
babies.
information is coming out at an alarming rate, especially this year. But we do have a comment. We have several comments, guys. I'm so sorry. We're getting into it. Okay. Nikila says we need our own schools. Come on, talk to him, Arthur Frank. Talk to him.
Absolutely, because let me tell you something, Nikila. Growing up, okay, in Brooklyn, how do you explain a Caucasian, okay, a Caucasian teacher by the name of Miss Steinberg? How do you explain her teaching our kids or myself about Black history or Black slavery? It's better being taught from our own, okay, from our own people's perspective, all right, because they're not going to give you the truth. Because look, okay, just like they try to throw in indentured servants. Look, let me tell you something. The indentured servants were just vagabonds that were actually over in Denmark and in Ireland, okay, that had to pay a debt. And so they worked their debt over here in America, and they came over here and farmed the land, and they owned the land for after 7 years. They owned their own land. Okay, it's a difference between indentured servants and slaves. Indentured servants and slaves. You see how the two differ? Okay. Slaves didn't own anything. Okay, they worked, their backs was whipped, they were hung. Okay, the women were forcibly, raped. Okay, none of this happened to the Irish, or none of this happened to the people that were indentured servants. So a lot of times, what they're trying to do to American history, when you read the history books, what they're trying to do, they're trying to switch everything around. And now what they're trying to do, they're trying to incorporate indentured servants like they actually went through what we went through. No people on this planet Earth, okay, has been through what the Blacks have been through, okay, in America, even still,
and are still going through
every day. Okay, nobody, okay, nobody. Okay, not even the people that you mentioned, okay, during the time of Hitler, the Caucasians, the Germans. It was more, let me hit you with this too. It was more Black concentration camps after the Civil War, okay, than all of the time in Germany during the rule of Hitler. Okay, it was more Black, okay, concentration camps. That's another thing they do not teach you about in school. You had Black concentration camps where you had after the Civil War, where the slaves, they didn't have nowhere to go. They called them vagabonds and they called them vagrants. Okay. After the Civil War, you had them just hanging around. It wasn't doing nothing. So what the Confederate soldiers did, they actually captured them and put them back into a second slavery. It is known. It's called slavery after slavery. Okay. One of the the prominent places, okay, where they tortured, okay, these slaves at, okay, and I just rode by there on my way to Memphis, okay, is a place called Natchez, Mississippi. Okay, it was called the Devil's Punch Bowl, where they recaptured.
I looked it up.
Yep. Where they recaptured, okay, the slaves after the Civil War that was still in Mississippi, and they put them in a worse slavery, and it was called a Black concentration camp. In less than 1 year, they killed and murdered, worked the slaves to death, over 20,000 slaves, and threw them over the cliff. And to this day, this is stuff that they don't teach our kids.
To be specific, they worked them until their death, literally, non-stop.
There you go. Kids too.
This is a real thing. I looked it up because of you being on that show, and you mentioned that, and I never heard of that in my life until this year.
Kids too.
It was a real situation, a real deal.
Why isn't that mentioned in school, Danny? Why isn't that mentioned in school?
They're not going to mention that. The thing is, it's what you said earlier in this interview.
We asked for
conversation. Yeah, you were saying that, this country, to me, now that you're helping me to see this, it's just this built up imaginary place. It's physical, it's real, but the idea of it, the concept, the foundation from which it was built is all something that has been created to uplift a certain type of people, and
right.
And it's really, it's very delusional. It's very unfair. is very fictitious, you know, in even in its design, because the real truth has been hidden and buried. But now, as with anything, you can't continue a lie on forever. You
Right.
know, what's done in the dark will come to light. It's
Absolutely.
inevitable. And so I believe this is the year to reveal a lot of truths, and this is one of them. We
Right.
have some comments coming through. They didn't want us to wake up, and they still don't. Well, we're woke now, girl. You know how we kept saying that in 2017? Stay woke. Oh, matter of fact, shout out to Childish Gambino for bringing up that song. He made that
Yes.
title. He sang that song, and I feel like it resonated through the universe, and we slowly but surely waking up. We have Nikila Reed, who says this is an educational system that was put in place before we were even allowed to participate.
Right.
Bingo.
Right, absolutely. And look, let me say this in Asia, do you want to say something?
Yeah. So there are so many disparities in the school system. And Danny knows, like, this is my passion. I am passionate about teaching our children the truth and giving them the real, because at the end of the day, we've been lied to for so many centuries, so many decades. And the schools are talking about equity and making things equal and making things fair, but they actually are only trying to say it to say they're doing it, and they're not doing anything.
Right.
And so, you know, this type of platform is what we need to expose the truth and the information, so that way we can get it out to the public. And now we're waking up and we're like, what? Wait, Shakespeare was black? They're teaching about Shakespeare in school. It's a mandatory curriculum to learn about Shakespeare and the plays and, you know, that time span. But they're not telling them they're black, that he's black.
Of course not.
And not only are they not telling them, they're giving a fictitious image of a representation of who he was, and that's not true.
Right.
It's a lie.
Listen, let me tell y'all something on a very small, minute level that you can figure out yourself. Europeans don't have that soul like we got. Okay, they don't have that soul like we have. You know, back in the 60s, they used to call our music soul music. Okay, our food is different. They call our food soul food. Okay, we have a different soul than them. Okay, even in music. Okay, look, people can play games all they want to. Okay, we have a different music. Justin Timberlake, he gets famous because he acts like a Negro. His beats, his rhythm, the way Elvis Presley. Only reason why they said he was the king of rock and roll because he was emulating blacks. Okay, Jackie Wilson. Okay, and guys like that, Chuck Berry. Okay, the only reason why they become famous. Look at the Kardashian sisters. Let's put it out there. Okay, the only reason why everybody, oh my goodness, they look so.
Oh, since we're on the topic, can we put it out there? Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, because I was just talking about this today, y'all. So look, seriously, Arthur Frank is onto something, because I was just talking about the song "Baby Got Back." I think that's what it was called. Back in the early 90s, you know, back then, a lot of people tried to make black women feel bad for having big bottoms. Let's be real. And they used to make fun of us, and they used to talk about us and say we look like monkeys and bamboos and things like that. But now you fast forward to 2015, 2016, you have all these race of women that are going to get lip injections. They're going to get tan. They're going to go get these butt injections. They're going to go do it all to look like who? Let's be realistic about it. Let's be honest, and let's be transparent about it. Right. You can say Brazilian all day, but guess what, baby? What Brazilian have in it? Okay. All right. So I'm just saying, like, we have to be very open and honest about this. So is it that in the early 90s, people were making fun of us because they themselves weren't shaped that same way and they wished to be? Or did you seriously think it was disgusting? Because even within Sir Mix-a-Lot's rap song, and this is a funny analogy, but it's true. He said, hey, he likes it. I don't know what y'all tripping on. He was honest about what he liked, and granted, everybody likes what they like. But if it's so bad, why are you pressing yourself so hard to look like something that you claim was ugly less than 20 years ago, or a little over 20 years ago?
Right. We don't listen, even with the music, we don't make heavy metal music. That music, we don't bang guitars on the stage. That's all self-taught. If you do have,
we did create rock and roll.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But rock and roll, listen, but the rock and roll, they always take what we have and they destroy it. Okay, the rock and roll that we created wasn't, you know, on stage and drinking bats' blood, okay, and taking acid. We didn't do that. We was just rock and roll, just having a lot of fun. Okay, but you know, we weren't destroying you know, $1,500 Fender guitars or nothing like that, and jumping into the audience. We don't have a wish to die. We don't. We don't. We like to live. Okay, that's just us. We like to live. We're lively people. Okay, we don't have a death wish. That's them. You know, that's the reason why you have people in Paris that get on the Eiffel Tower with a cell phone taking selfies, and you got the group of people hanging on by one hand, okay, taking selfies. They have a wish to die. We like to live. That's the reason why they create the medicines that they create. Absolutely, Christ was black. I got a couple of pictures of them in the book. Okay, and let me tell you something. Okay, they, like I said, that's a different topic for a different day too. Okay, but they have a wish to die. That's the reason why they call themselves daredevils, and that's the reason why they go out. And you got guys that make movies like Jackass and running through fire and then hitting their head on microwaves and.
No, I once read somewhere, and I don't know how true this is that sometimes that will to want to end everything, end it all, is that lack of melanin. I heard that there's an extreme association with melanin and mental health. I don't know how true that is. I haven't done any personal research on it, but I read that somewhere. I can't remember where it was. Have you heard that?
Where melanin is who? I don't know. Right.
The relationship between melanin and mental health.
Right. Well, let me say this. I mean, to have more melanin in your skin, I mean, that's the darker the better. You know, I mean, a lot of people, the darker, because it saves you from a whole host of ailments, cancers, skin cancers. You know, that's the reason why they be on the beach, rolling around looking like a rotisserie chicken. Nobody can get
done. Let me cut you off. Let me interject. I'm done with you. Hold on. Okay, so Kathy says Jesus and black, and we still the only race trying to bring everything together. We built different. So
right. Here's some pictures of Christ still over there in Rome. Okay, these are pictures of Christ. Okay, that's still over there in Rome, and these pictures and paintings, okay, were up before the 14th century, before the Roman, okay, before the Italian Renaissance period had came. Okay, and these pictures are still over there on the walls. Okay, now this brother doesn't look Caucasian at all. Okay,
no.
This is a picture of Christ. This is another picture of him as well too. Okay.
Wow.
Post a picture up at that. And these are still paintings that are still over there. Okay, in Rome. Okay, and over there in Italy as well too. That's where the Renaissance period started from. But I will tell you exactly. Okay, who the man is. Okay, if you really want to go there, I don't want to go there. But if you really want to,
okay, pause, because I have to read a lot of comments. I'm so sorry. Everybody's lit tonight. So their 400 years are up. Us as teachers, we have to squeeze these jewels in. I'm so done with this picture. That's hanging on everyone's grandmother's wall.
Right, exactly right. It's on everybody's grandmother's wall. Right. This man name is Caesar Borgia. Okay, he was the second-born son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. Okay, and during this time period, what they did, they actually painted. Okay, for white supremacy, they painted. Okay, Christ as being a so-called white man. You can look it up. Caesar Borgia. Okay, I'll show it to you again. And when you look at the Last Supper, and this is very important. Okay, when you look at the Last Supper, the so-called Last Supper, I'm gonna point something out to you. Okay, now Christ biblically, okay, had all men disciples, and when you look carefully at this picture, there are two women in this picture. There's one sitting there. And there's one over here. It's two women. A lot of our people didn't catch that. Okay, this is a picture of Caesar Borgia and his family. Okay, he got his dad in there. He got his sister Lucretia in there. Okay, this is exactly what it is. You have two women that are in this picture. Okay, my pen is I'm trying to go towards the camera, but you got one sitting on his left and you got one sitting on his right. Okay, you got one sitting on the left and you got one sitting on the right. That's something that's another thing that they won't teach you in school. But I'm gonna show you something else. Okay, the popes in Rome, okay, they all know that Christ is they all know that Christ is a black man. Okay, these are the popes in Rome in the Vatican City. Okay, and the image that they're bowing down to on the wall, okay, is an image, okay, of Mary and Christ as being black. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I have another bigger picture of it. I'm quite sure I do. Trying to find another bigger picture of it. Okay.
Okay. While you do that,
in a contrast,
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a few more comments. We have a lot of them. 400 years being conditioned and whitewashed and lied to. And Asia from earlier, you were right. I'm sorry, I'm so late. Okay, all right. Yep, appropriation. Now everyone's trying to copy our bodies and culture. I agree. One proudest day in school, and they played Roots for a whole week. Other races and white teachers were speechless, and we black students were flashing back to our DNA.
Right. Right.
I'm done. I'm not gonna even read that.
Yeah.
From what you said earlier.
Yeah. And they don't, and let me tell you something, they don't get no melanin. They get red. They may get a little red, okay, temporarily. Okay. We don't go in tanning salons. You know, they have tanning salons. You know, they have tanning salons.
Nikila says she needs a flashcard set for her kids with descriptions. Is that something you're willing to start doing?
That's a good product right there. Come on out with that product next.
Right. Okay. Right.
I'm going to promote that
We'll
hard.
help you. We'll help you get it all together.
Okay. I can make that happen. Sarah Boone. Okay. This is a sister right here. Sarah Boone. Okay. This is a sister right here. Okay. By the name of Sarah Boone. Guess what she invented? The ironing board.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say we know her. We know about her.
Yeah. Okay. Watch this. This is a man by the name of Joseph Smith. You know those sprinklers that they have on the golf courses? They go ting 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 ting. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Everyday luxury.
Right.
There you go. But they don't want you on the golf course.
They don't tell us this.
Huh?
They don't tell us.
Nikila says she needs her cut.
She needs her cut for the flashcards. The flashcards idea.
The idea. Look, we have it on record, video and black and white. Come on, sis. I understand
the information's coming from you, Frank. Okay, the information. Right. We need this. This is so
badly
necessary, and we need more people to feel comfortable to do this.
Right. Yeah. Let me show you something. These are Vatican priests. Okay, these are priests. Okay, in Vatican. And they're holding up, what do you see? They're holding up and they're worshiping a picture of Christ as being black. That's what they do. Because why? Because they know that Christ is a so-called black man. They know that. Okay. They know that. They know this. Okay. This is something that they're not going to teach you in school. They're not going to teach you in church. Okay. Everybody knows Christ is black man.
And let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go over some more cultural lines. When you think about India and you think about the guys that they serve, they're painted as dark blue, black, brown. Right. Let's be realistic. Like, I just want people to open their minds for a second. Seriously. Right. We've all seen it. We may not have traveled there and physically touched it ourselves, but we've seen this.
Right.
So we want to continue to believe the lies. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to. Right. I've heard people say to me, seriously, Arthur Frank, I've said, well, you know, it's a strong possibility that God is black based on the hair of wool reference and the feet of bronze reference, right? But we're going to base it strictly on literature, aka the Bible, yeah? And the response I received was, oh, it doesn't matter about color.
Right.
But if it didn't, then why?
Right, exactly. Look, color only matters. Okay, is when you tell the truth and that he's black. Okay, but all day long, okay, it doesn't matter if you got Caesar Borgia. Okay, all day long, nobody protested that. How come we didn't protest the fact that Mel Gibson 10 years ago, 15 years ago, made a movie called The Passions of Christ, and he played our brother Christ as being a so-called white man? Okay, would it be fair? Okay, if Denzel Washington played the part of George Washington, you'll have all hell break loose in Hollywood. But how come they always, our people, like sheep? Okay, we always fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Okay, we never protest nothing or anything like that. You let Wesley Snipes, okay, try to play Ben Franklin, okay, and you'll see the hell that breaks loose in Hollywood. Okay.
Well, look, they got mad when the black kid played a part in Star Wars. Remember the lead